propaganda machine is in full spin mode, as you said, full denial mode, and the conspiracy theories keep getting more ludicrous and outrageous by the hour as more evidence emerges of these alleged atrocities. Look, Russia's investigative body, Nadia, has ordered a probe, an inquiry into those who it says are spreading, quote, fake news about these alleged atrocities. And as we know in Russia right now, if you dare to question the behavior, the outstanding, morally upright behavior of the Russian army and its soldiers in Ukraine, you are subject to a prison term of up to 15 years. It's under that law discrediting the army. And we're seeing these attempts, this sort of denial mode, this propaganda mode. You see there the tweet from the Russian embassy in France. Basically, I mean, it's revolting. It's just sickening, really. Likening the atrocities to a stage set. You see it as if it's a stage set, and Ukrainian volunteers are laying the actors, the civilian bodies, out there. On the first channel in Russia, one of the anchors actually said that you can see one of the extras, as she called them, using this film set analogy, raising their arm, and you could see another one of these extras standing up suddenly and saying as if the role he was asked to play is over. It is sickening. It would be almost laughable if it weren't actually the real propaganda that many Russians believe. And I will just say, as to these allegations, the raised arm, a victim standing up, Media Zone, which does verifications of these types of photos and videos, basically said they're if you want to get to the truth of it, it's very easy to explain. The raised arm was a speck in the windshield from which the angle of the camera was filming, and that supposed extra standing up, the dead body, the civilian, was a distorted view in a side view mirror of the car from which this was being filmed. So there is an explanation. Most Russians are getting none of that, of course. Meanwhile, if you type Bucha on Yandex, which is the equivalent of Google in Russia, it is the top search engine in the country, you will get mostly bright, colorful pictures of a happy, prosperous Bucha, because those are the pictures before the atrocities, before the war. Russia's trying to make sure that as much of what is going on there is hidden from Russians. As these atrocities build, rather than trying to come to terms with them or try to explain to the world what happened, they are doubling down, and the conspiracy theories are getting more and more ludicrous. I'll just end with the fact there's Vladimir Solovyov, a name known to every Russian household. He's perhaps one of the more repulsive, that's my word, obviously, propagandists, media propagandists. He basically says Bucha and Butcher, the English word butcher, can't be a coincidence that they're so similar. It's obviously this operation is the work of British specialists. They wanted to find a town to stage their provocation that would sound to English ears like butcher, or boucher in French.
And I suppose the fear, Doug, now is that we may come to see in the weeks ahead more images from places a bit like Bucha as more cities or more towns are liberated. And then potentially more fake news coming out of Moscow as well about those. Yeah,
absolutely. To the point, Ukrainian officials, Zelensky, they're warning this is the tip of the iceberg. What we've seen in Bucha, however horrific, absolutely horrifying to the rest of the world, unfortunately, very tragically, this might pale in comparison to discoveries to come. That is not to say the Ukrainian officials and Zelensky warned, I believe it was the Romanian parliament he was speaking to yesterday, basically said the Russians are hard at work now, the soldiers, seeing the world's reaction to Bucha and their attempts to try to cover it up with these ludicrous stories. The troops are now trying to remove bodies before if they do have to retreat and the Ukrainians move in, they won't discover them. Zelensky basically said there's simply too many civilians being killed to be able to hide it altogether. I'll just leave you with this. There was an article published on a prominent Kremlin media website on the day of the Bucha bodies' revelations to the world. It was called "What to Do with Ukraine," and it was basically, as some has said, a license to kill for Russian soldiers. It basically said Ukraine needs to be not just denazified but de-Ukrainianized, whatever that means. It said that just about a significant part of the masses are Nazis and their accomplices. And he said, the author of this article said, the elites of Ukraine, who knows what he's referring to, elites of Ukraine, must be liquidated. That was the word he used, because they cannot be re-educated. He said basically Ukraine should cease to exist. It doesn't exist. It is a non-entity. That gives you a sense. This is on a Kremlin website approved. This is state-sanctioned media. So this clearly is in line with the ideology of the top leadership. And that, unfortunately, gives you a taste of things to come. And that's the line that the Russians are getting, the average Russian media consumer.
All right, Douglas Herbert, thanks very much.